Good morning. Are you feeling a call to act or an impulse to move towards something? Well, we have an opening card of the Knight of Wands today. So there's this fieriness that's engaging our will. It's like we're feeling a movement that is really motivating. And yet this card, when it shows up, it's asking us, do we have what it takes to follow through with it? Because it's one thing to have an impulse to act, but it's another thing to actually complete that task. The challenge that we have for today is the Two of Swords. So where do we feel some kind of indecision, and where are we weighing things and measuring things? Sometimes when we are stuck in that place of weighing and measuring things in the mind, it can make us immobile, right? It can paralyze us in a lot of ways. We can see that this person is really stuck in their own inner world, right? She's surrounded by this dark environment with two swords in front of her, crossing her chest, and she's blindfolded. So everything is internal. It's like we're trying to measure if where we feel called to act is really somewhere that we can go. So there's this hesitancy, right? It's like when you feel this impulse to move, and yet the mind is like slowing you down. So the way that we get through the challenge today is the Seven of Swords. Can we look at our own experiences and see what we can learn from them? Because this is calling us to do that. Now, it's one thing if we're just measuring things that haven't actually happened, right? We're measuring possibilities and we're measuring fear of the unknown right next to that. And it as I said, creates this hesitancy. So we're not actually engaging our will to move because we're just stuck in the mind. Well, this is an introduction of time to that experience, so we can actually look back at what we've accomplished and what has bared fruit and what hasn't. And so there's this learning that comes to this. Now we see the person in this card appears to be walking away from this group of people in the background that are surrounding a campfire, and he's leaving two swords behind him and carrying 5 with him as they're walking away from this environment. And so in order for us to actually take action, we may actually have to go out on our own and focus on what we want to bring into form. And it's so interesting, right? Because the challenge that we had was the Two of Swords, and the person in the Seven of Swords is actually walking away from this 2, and they're carrying 5 with them. So it's as if they're walking away from the black and white measuring of things, and is realizing that they have to choose their battles as they move forward in life. Now, the ultimate outcome that we have for today is the Magician. So this is a major arcana, which means that it's something that we don't really have any choice over. It's really interesting to me because this card here, the Magician, is governing Mercury, and Mercury moved into retrograde today, which is so interesting to me, and it will be in retrograde until June 3rd. And so when this card shows up, it's reminding us that it's, again, time to take action, and also encouraging us to follow that inspired thought or this inspired project that we feel called to move toward. Now, the Magician, it's important to note, has all 4 tools at their disposal, right? They have the wand, they have the sword, they have the pentacle, they have the cup, which means they have the body, the mind, the emotions, and the will that they can put all into alignment to move forward in one direction. And this is encouraging us that our ideas and inspirations are actually supported by the universe. We just have to take action, and we have to know that we are fully capable in doing so. So what do you feel called to work on right now? I would imagine that it is likely in the realm of where Gemini sits in your natal chart. For me, Gemini sits in my 10th house, which is my career path, my life path, my legacy. And I am also, my chart ruler is Mercury, because I have a Virgo rising. And so whatever's happening with Mercury has a very large impact in my life. And so it's as if I'm going to be in this time of review and working with how I communicate and put myself out into the world. Now, how this particular transit is going to be affecting you is going to be dependent on where Mercury is in your chart. So if there is something that you would like to take a closer look at in regard to your natal chart, I do encourage you to reach out to an astrologer or myself. There's lots of birds that are around. There's actually a hummingbird that's right above my head right now. I love it. Feel free to reach out. My email is rootsofalchemy@gmail.com. I am currently redoing my whole website. I'm considering what classes and different offerings I can put out into the world. And I'm also pulling in the reins in regard to my own life, because I can see that I'm overdoing my resources. Like, I'm getting supplies to make products, but it's pushing me outside of my comfort zone. So I'm having to pull the reins in. And you yourself might be realizing this in your own life as well. And I just want to encourage you and remind you that that's all in alignment with the work and everything that's going on right now in the world. Consider that you're here for a reason, and what you want to bring into the world is likely some kind of divine inspired act. And you don't know exactly what's going to come out of it, right? There's been times that I've been inspired to create a play, and people told me that it was so foolish and what's the point of this? But the outcome of creating that play was creating a space for my family members to actually share time with my mom before she passed away. So you don't know exactly what the true outcome of your inspired act is going to be until you put your energy and your effort there. I send you guys a lot of love and a good wish and some encouragement to follow that dream, and a lot of love. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.